If you want to continue to follow our adventure, click subscribe. So you don't miss anything, click the bell notification. Well, I hate to do it again, but now the campground looks like it's going to bite the dust. It's just one after another after another. I've reported on 4 or 5 different campgrounds that are going to start charging in the Florida area. And in the Apalachicola National Forest, last year they started proposing that they wanted to start charging $10 a night for these free campsites. Well, it was obvious that the proposal failed, because this year they shut down a couple of the campgrounds and didn't charge. Well, then you go over to the Osceola National Forest by Lake City, and again, 2 of the campgrounds that are free, they're proposing to charge for. And one of them they've already shut down. I really expected that this charging thing was going to be kind of isolated to Florida. I really did. Here in Mississippi, I didn't find it very likely that they were going to make these proposals. Well, there's a sign that says they're going to propose it. The campgrounds are dispersed camping. You don't have hookups or anything. So what the National Forest does is give you spots to park, so you don't tear up the property trying to get into dispersed camping. Right, you can camp right there, but that's tent camping. You can't get your camper into this. Now, I know there's a big push to get people to come out here. I see it on YouTube all the time. They are pushing people to come out here. They're starting nonprofits to give people vans and RVs and different things so they come live out here in the National Forest and the BLMs. But I think this big push is causing the National Forest to take notice. Over in Apalachicola, there is a guy there who says he's homeless. He knows he's homeless. He does everything he can to stay in the National Forest for as long as he can. And he has this expectation that the National Forest doesn't need to be enforcing rules. He doesn't do anything wrong. Well, about a month ago, they told him to leave. Well, he had accumulated so much stuff. This is what is astonishing to me, that he took all his stuff out into the National Forest, out into the weeds, and dumped it. This is what he told me he did. And so when he comes back to the National Forest, he's going to go back out in the forest and get his stuff back. You know, we bring him out here. We tell him, okay, come on out here. We're going to give you free vans, free RVs. We bring him out here, and it's causing these places to close down. So I don't understand how it's a solution to say, okay, you're homeless. We're going to give you a van that is going to run for a year or 2. And we're going to say, okay, go out into the National Forest until they shut them down. Then what? Where do they go after that? Well, I can hear it now. People tell me all the time, well, there's always the BLM. Come out west. Come out to the BLM. The BLM's got plenty of land. They're never going to shut it down. No, they're not going to shut it down. They're not going to shut down the National Forest either. They're going to make it more difficult for you to stay out here. Oh, don't give me that, Rob. There's billions of acres out here. You know, all the exaggerated numbers. Yeah, they'll never find you. I disagree. I think they're going to find you just easy. You know, they got helicopters and airplanes and these kind of things. They're going to find you. And what they're going to do, I'm sure of it, to make this real easy, is they're going to have a national parks pass. You know, like America the Beautiful. I've been researching that. I'm actually thinking about getting one of those. I might be able to get American Beautiful Pass, I don't know, for 80 bucks or 100 bucks, whatever it is. And then I'll be able to go into these paid campgrounds, I think, for free. Now, the research is a little sketchy. I'm going to have to go into an office and ask about it. But I think that's what they're going to do to the BLMs too. They're going to say, okay, we're going to charge, no matter where you park in the BLMs, we're going to charge. A lot of people in the comment section have suggested that we track people who buy these tickets. And they're going to have to do something. They have to keep track, because people leave trash behind, like that guy over in the Apalachicola National Forest. He leaves trash behind. They don't know where he's at. You know, they can't give him like a $10,000 ticket for all the trash he left behind. But if they're able to track him and say, oh, there he is. He went over to this national forest. Then they're going to go over there and say, hey, dude, you left all your trash up. Here's your ticket. And then also go back over there and clean it up. I just made a video about the Burning Man. And the BLM is coming down on him. And I find it interesting that people don't believe facts. You know, a lot of people said, Rob, I don't agree with everything you said. Well, if you don't agree with what I said, then you have read the document differently than I read. Because what I was reporting was what the BLM actually wrote down. You know, they told me, Rob, I don't believe you that they're throwing trash out on the BLM. I've been to the Burning Man. I know they're not doing it. Well, that's fine. The BLM thinks that they're throwing trash out. And guess what? The BLM is in charge. If the BLM believes you're throwing trash out there during the Burning Man, they're going to come down on the Burning Man. Somebody actually said, Rob, I don't even know where you got your information. Burning Man is held on private property. I went to it in the 90s. Well, now it's held on the BLM in Nevada. I get my information from documentation written by the government. The government is what runs this property. You know, we put them in charge, and so they're in charge. That's where my information is coming from. You know, I don't go on the hearsay on Facebook and say, well, you know, the BLM just, they can't do that. Well, they may not be able to do it, but they are doing it. And when you come out here and you actually see what's going on, you can tell that the folks who say, oh, leave no trace, they're leaving traces, and a lot of traces. Think about this. This campground that we're in right now has been open for what, 100 years? 50 years? And they've never charged. But now all of a sudden, they're starting to charge. What's changed? Why are all the national forests starting to charge? Well, it's real simple. They're getting less money from the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are going out there in bigger numbers. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like the video, and happy travels.